they're definitely trying to sabotage anything Trump does. And that's why when I talk about the mainstream media, when I talk about even the Democrat Party, you know, I ask people like, how do you win by supporting a group of people who are so hateful of the president that they're willing to hurt the country in an attempt to make the president look bad? Like, that's stupid. Because if you hurt the country, you're hurting me too. I'm not willing to let you hurt me in an effort to hurt Trump. That's just asinine right there. But there are just some people who are like, it doesn't matter. We hate Trump so much. If you get caught in the crossfire, oh well. And it's just like, I'm never going to agree with that. I'm never going to agree with that. I'm just not. So say what you want, do what you want, but no. At the end of the day, we all need to do whatever it takes to make sure that the United States is prosperous. If you're not with that, you don't have to be. But what you're not going to do, you're not going to hurt me, hurt my prosperity, hurt my ability to make money because you're mad and you're willing to put your success on the back burner to settle petty scores that you have with the president. I'm not down with that.
Mr. President, is it appropriate, Mr. President, for your family to be doing business in Saudi Arabia while you're president? Is that a conflict of interest? And Your Royal Highness, the U.S. intelligence concluded that you orchestrated the brutal murder of a journalist. 9/11 families are furious that you are here in the Oval Office. Why should Americans trust you? Who are you with? And the same to you, Mr. President.
Now, who are you with?
I'm with ABC News, sir.
You're with who?
ABC News, sir.
Fake news. ABC fake news. One of the worst in the business. But I'll answer your question.
Thank you.
I have nothing to do with the family business. I have left, and when I've devoted 100% of my energy. What my family does is fine. They do business all over. They've done very little with Saudi Arabia, actually. I'm sure they could do a lot. And anything they've done has been very good. That's what we've done. We've built a tremendous business for a long time. I've been very successful. I decided to leave that success behind and make America very successful. And I've made America more successful by far than it ever was, and that it ever could have been, no matter who was president. There would be nobody bringing in $21 trillion, that I can tell you right now. As far as this gentleman is concerned, he's done a phenomenal job. You're mentioning somebody that was extremely controversial. A lot of people didn't like that gentleman that you're talking about. Whether you like him or didn't like him, things happen. But he knew nothing about it, and we can leave it at that. You don't have to embarrass our guest by asking a question like that.
Okay, just yes, Mr. President,
please,
if you allow me to answer. You know, I feel painful about, the families of 9/11 in America, but, we have to focus on reality. Reality based on CIA documents and based on a lot of documents that Osama bin Laden, he used Saudi people in that event for one main purpose, is to destroy this relation, to destroy the American-Saudi relation. That's the purpose of 9/11. So whoever buying that means they are helping Osama bin Laden's purpose of destroying this relation. He knows that strong relation between America and Saudi Arabia, it's bad for extremism, it's bad for terrorism. And we have to approve him wrong and to build our relation, to continue developing our relation. It's critical in the safety of the world. It's critical against extremism and terrorism. About the journalists, it's really painful to hear, anyone that been losing his life for no real purpose or nothing illegal way, and it's been painful for us in Saudi Arabia. We've did all the right steps of investigation, etc., in Saudi Arabia, and we've improved our system to be sure that nothing happened like that, and it's painful and it's a huge mistake, and we are doing our best that this doesn't happen again.
Okay, so I love the fact that the Crown Prince actually spoke up for himself and made it clear. I love that Trump told this lady, look, man, you don't have to embarrass our guests by asking what I believe was a very inappropriate question at that moment, because he didn't know anything about it. This is the equivalent of saying Donald Trump orchestrated the Summer of Love, where they burned down all those cities all over America. Just because you're the ruler of a nation doesn't mean you control every single thing that happens in that nation. The journalist who died, he was an investigative reporter, and guess what? There's many people he investigated, and it could have been a number of people who killed him, right? It could have been somebody from another country in the Middle East that he interviewed who knew he was in Saudi Arabia and was like, let's take this dude out, because then they'll just blame it on the Saudis. At the end of the day's got to end. The Crown Prince, to me, he showed why he's a leader. He said, look, you sound dumb. We know that Osama bin Laden employed people from Saudi Arabia to help him carry out his acts of terrorism, because his goal was to destroy the relationship between the United States and the Saudi government. So if you out here spewing propaganda, or you're asking questions that are based on propaganda that was spread, you're helping Osama bin Laden. It ain't nothing worse than a unwitting accomplice. You know, someone who is helping somebody destroy something and they don't even realize that they're helping. She's just a female who they send to the White House and in front of Trump because they know she ain't got the sense a dog got to know when and where you should ask certain questions. You know, and that's why I'm telling you, in journalism, you're seeing the rise of the female investigative reporters and the female interviewers, because women are willing to say stuff that men have enough sense to say that's disrespectful, that's inappropriate. Because many women are very career driven. They don't care if they gotta hurt you to move up the ladder. They don't care if they gotta offend you to move up the ladder. They a lot of them just don't give a damn. You could watch movies about it all the time. Females who just don't give a damn. Like there's a movie with Angelina Jolie. I forgot the name of it, but she's a blonde hair reporter, and the homeless dude tell her she gonna die in 3 days. Well, she made it to the big time because she was just willing to say whatever on camera. She didn't care about other people. And he gave his answer, and she's sitting there nodding her head yes. Well, if you know what I'm saying makes sense, then why the hell are you asking me this right now? What if bro would have got up and said, F it, deals off the table, y'all disrespected me? Is this broke hoe gonna give us $1 trillion to help fight lower the deficit? Help cool some of this inflation? See, you can't invite everybody to everything. You can't invite everybody to everything because some people are there for nothing but ill intent. Some people are there for nothing other than to settle a score. This was not the time. This was not the place. If you got an issue with bro, hey, do you think it's a chance we could get an interview with him after he's done doing his business with Trump? And I honestly think that the United States should stop letting these reporters in on business meetings. Let the White House, let the government handle the press release, film a video, let the White House do the filming. But these reporters, man, they're getting out of pocket. And I'm always going to be a champion of freedom of the press, but it's got to be the press that knows when and where to ask certain questions, because this is just, in my opinion, totally inappropriate. And I'm glad that the president checked her ass. And I know for a fact that if it had been Biden sitting by him, she would have never asked that question. But we all know Biden would have never been sitting by the Crown Prince, because remember, Biden was too busy putting you in debt, raising inflation by giving billions and billions of dollars to a bunch of green energy companies that went out of business, filed bankruptcy as soon as they got billions and billions of American dollars. And they ran the same play under Obama with all the Green New Deal crap. Okay, so yeah, these reporters, they need to be muzzled, and they need to have it made clear. You are not to ask about this, and this. If you want to ask him about a journalist getting killed, you do the work. You set up the interview. You go and figure out a way to get over there and talk to him. But you're not going to sabotage United States foreign relations, United States negotiations to for $1 trillion. You're not going to sabotage our country because you hate the president. And a line has to be drawn in the sand, in my opinion. But yeah, she tried to play stupid games, and I'm just glad Trump G-checked her ass, and I'm glad that the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, shout out to bro, like I said, the fam bam, they living over in Riyadh right now. Father-in-law is a consultant for refineries out there. Got to know how to conduct business. Don't